Um, so I'm studying like the Japanese hellscapes. You know, I think I was showing this photo last time where this demon in this Japanese Buddhist hellscape is Cape Newnham Peninsula in Alaska, about 1,500 miles from Japan. This is his weapon. This is his head. This is the back of his weapon. It has a little loop on it. This is his back foot there. So, yeah, just to go through all the points of it. 1 is the end of his weapon there. 2 is the top of the business part of it. 3 is the bottom part of that. 4 is his hand. 5 is his arm. 6 is one horn. 7 is another horn. 8 is his shoulder, which is one of these things. 9 is his elbow. 10 is his back of his weapon with the loop on it. 11 is his foot. And also, yeah, well, this just shows it separated out. Same basic thing. And 8 is his front knee right there, with delivered by these 2 lines, which kind of look like one line there next to the 8, the little dark part. And there's his head zoomed in more. Sigyuk spit shows here the hand, his back hand holding the back of the pole of the shaft of the weapon. Then there's this little loop right there, and they show like black stuff behind the loop to indicate there's black inside the loop, and it's surrounded by this white kind of circle. So the finger, the hand's kind of flipped retrograde at the least. And then it has this chunky wrist that's separated by a big crease. So this is like the chunky wrist. This is the big crease. This is the rest of the chunky, like, I don't know, forearm or something. There's Norseman Lake helping delineate it. And actually, like, this part of the lake is shallow, so it could be that the shaft includes part of the shallow part of the lake. Bering Sea, route to Asia. Tabaki. Let's see. Ditch. This is one of the starving spirits. So yeah, he's like smiling, and he has red hair like hanging down, and his hand is under his chin. So I think this is like his hair hanging down. This is his smile. And I think this is like his hand under his chin. There's something in here. These look like fingers, kind of. Forget the name of that island in the Aleutians. But actually, I should revisit the other Aleutian island I was dealing with. Like, this is the Cape Newnham's face. Let's see, I think I had it here. Somewhere. Yeah. So like this, I was trying to figure out like, so it seems like in the better photos that he's actually eating something. He has a little round cake or something. So, so I think that's actually something there. Like, it's hard to see, but there's like like a shallow reef, or I guess like a reef right there. So it's not super visible in a lot of the images, but here you can see it a bit. Like, I was not sure what that exactly was, but the more I looked at it, does seem like it's a reef. It might be covered with snow. So I'm guessing that's actually the thing that he's putting in his mouth right there. Yeah. Yeah, so he's holding it in his hand under his chin and munching on it. All right, then we got these guys. So this is like right there. This is like that hand trunk point, and then this is called the ditch. And then I should have posted, but like up there is like that weird icy reef or whatever. So this is like another part of the starving spirit realm. You know, like this is Great Sitkin Island, so that's this guy. So, you know, it's very stylized. I mean, like, he's very round, which they convey mostly just through the belly. All these are, like, the Aleutians are all volcanic islands, so a lot of them are very round. And so that's like the distended bellies of the starving spirits. And then his hands are up. So obviously this is one of his hands. I'm not sure if the other hand is just part of this or if it's something that's seen as being bitten off by these birds. He's being like, you know, eaten by birds, like, and the birds seem to be these other islands around there. So, and it could even be that this bird and his leg and the leg, that maybe this is that bird and maybe this is that leg, and that this bird just took the whole leg with him because this bird's like taking his eye out. And then if you zoom in, it looks like some bird took the other eye out. So chances are this is the before picture and this is the after picture after he lost both eyes and his arm and an arm and a leg. And so, yeah, this bird looks a lot like that one, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Here's his face. So he certainly has a big brow ridge, but they show it with like a big empty eye socket, which he doesn't exactly have. There's just like a little indent there, but he certainly does have a pronounced brow ridge there. And his mouth is pretty convoluted, but it might include kind of this whole area, and then this is like his teeth or something. That seems to be what they're going for. Or maybe even has something in his mouth. I don't know. So I'm guessing that, I mean, this kind of looks like a closed eye, but I don't know. My guess is that like here he's getting one eye pulled out by the bird. So I'm guessing in this, that eye on the other side is, and now he's losing this eye, which is, you know, used to be here, but is now this kind of bloody mass on up against his nose. Could be wrong, but that's how I interpret that. He has cool hair. Yeah, so that's like his shoulder there. And another shoulder. You know, they make his neck skinnier than it is, like they do with all of these, which is based on the first illusion, which is Unamak, which actually does have a really skinny neck. That's the island that sets the tone for the rest of these. But you can kind of see this weird shape here, I think, is related to like this stuff in here. Yeah. And whatnot. Here's Cape Newenham again, and the part of the land that he's like whacking with his weapon. There's, let's see, menu. This is just that with arrows to indicate. So yeah, this is zooming in on just his face and his the end of his weapon. Kind of hard to see, but at least you can kind of see his smile, his chin, his nose, his cyclops eye, his weapon, and stuff like that. I tweak the color sometimes just to get different, just to see it in different ways. You know, this kind of, I think I made it negative, so it actually makes the mouth a dark line instead of like a white line like it is. It's like a snowy thing or something, I don't know. Frozen river maybe. So I like this one. This one as well is kind of a trippy color scheme. And oh yeah, for entertainment purposes only. Me, Ziopedo Elites down there. No, Rowan, don't. Also me. Ho, ho, ho. All right, so I think I figured out that the map of Mexico City, like the Aztec map of the Valley of Mexico. So I'm not sure if this is the source of the Mexican flag. Like the Mexican flag has an eagle on a cactus, but that eagle's like eating a snake. So, but I think they're seen as related, at least, and maybe the same, basically the same eagle. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're considered to be the same eagle. So, so this is in the center of their map, the Aztec map of the Valley of Mexico. It's described as a map of Mexico City, but I suspect it's of the whole valley. So it seems that the bird, the eagle, is Sierra de Guadalupe here, major mountain range, you know, right in Mexico City, basically. I think this is Mexico City is primarily here on this side of it. And so the head of it seems to be this part here. So, you know, the upper beak, the lower beak, and the eye right there. Has like a yellow eye with a white, or with a, you know, black dot in the middle of it. And then this seems to be, this seems to indicate this Lago de Guadalupe, which is nearby. You know, shaped a bit like whatever that is, agave plant or something like that. And yeah, so it's with south as up, so that could be why some people didn't understand it. It seems like that was one of the most common types of maps historically, is with south up. So yeah, this is Lago de Guadalupe, and this is the Aztec map with the plant in it. So it seems like, you know, this part like twists this way. That seems to be that. This one kind of has a weird, you know, shape like that. That fits there. This one, you know, like basically all these seem to match in a you know, stylized way. And so this is like the whole map. So it could be that none of these things are what they're thought to be. Like it's thought to be that basically the only actual things in the map are this, which is like people think is the Sun Temple or something, which I don't know, maybe it is. And then this, which is some kind of, some human sacrifice zone or whatever the Christians believe, but really probably none of these things are real. I mean, this might be real, but I suspect even that's like topography. So yeah, this plant here is this lake. I mean, technically the whole area was a very shallow lake, but it seems like these are like deeper parts of it that are still water now. So there's showing the head of the eagle, the eye, and the two, upper and lower beak. Sierra de Guadalupe, and then so he's on a cactus. So I suspect, and then the cactus is on this thing, which in some other depictions, this little thing on the bottom is shown with water coming out of it. So, like, I think maybe on the flag or something. So anyway, I think that is this, which is basically a lake and land formation and stuff like that. And then the cactus is these three like green belts that stretch out of there. And then the flowers are these like reddish areas around there. The eagle is Sierra de Guadalupe. And then this is the head of the eagle. All right, let's see. There's another view. So at first I was thinking actually like this was the beak of the bird because it has kind of like this shape, it goes up and points down. But now I'm pretty sure that this is the actual head of the bird. And like the rest of the bird, I wouldn't say like it matches exactly. I mean, somehow this is probably part of this wing, and this wing might include some of these other mountain ranges. Not sure the whole elevation here. I know these are considered part of the same mountain range, but I'm not sure if they're part of the wing or not. But it seems like the rest of the bird is relatively stylized, whereas this is kind of the most accurate part of it, seemingly. That this is the God. Let's see, I'll open it in a new tab so it's not going to block out part of it. So yeah, like the eye, of course, is this part. The white part is just this area, which is now green, which is like a garden. This is called the Garden of Records or something. It's basically a big graveyard, funerary complex with the Jesus statue in the middle on top of this hill. So the pupil is actually now Jesus, but originally it was probably just either, it was probably just topography, and then there might have been an Aztec statue there as well. But and the way the beak gets darker towards the end certainly matches. Like this part is certainly much darker, and this part is relatively dark. And then when it comes to these little things coming out, it's a little more difficult because it's so like developed. But it's like this, even these things might be some of them, like this and this and this. These are like roads that are following the elevation, so that could relate. But also in here, I think there's some shapes that do relate to that, but it's so developed that you can't really see them. Like, all right, so there's that. So yeah, the fact that like that there's a Jesus statue on top of there, that tells me that the Catholic Church probably is, secretly knows about this type of stuff, that, regular people are not supposed to know about, and that they actually preserve some of it, even though they probably destroyed most of it. Let's see. So this is in the Aleutian Islands again. There is, yeah, this is Unamak. So Unamak. Shit, I might have spelled that wrong. I feel like it's Unamak, but I'll have to check on that. So yeah, 12th century Buddhist scroll, Heian period, Tokyo National Museum. So this I'm not sure. Like this kind of seemed like it matched, like that this ghost starving spirit's leg could be like this part, and then this guy with his belly that sticks like really weirdly far out would be like this guy with his belly sticking out. But I'm now guessing that it's probably just the original one I thought it was, which is this, and that this part is accounted for by his arm, like his back arm is part of like the Alaskan Peninsula, and then his body is Unamak Islands, and then his other hand is here with. So I'm thinking that accounts for this as like a finger from this hand. And then this one has fingers coming out of it from that hand. And then his distended belly is like way out here. He's eating this thing, Bird Island there. And yeah. So, and it might just cut him off there. So I'm not sure if there's anything beyond that. I'm not sure what this leg would be. I mean, I think this is like his butt right here. Like this part there is more or less this part. And yeah. So it's the first and largest Aleutian at Unamak Island. I guess it's with the I. I don't know. Let me like Google this. No, I guess right. It is with the I. Okay. So Unamak, as the first and largest Aleutian, Unamak is the model for the Aleutian Islands as the starving spirit realm, where hungry ghosts with distended bellies and thin necks eat round cakes, some of which are ablaze. So it's like one of the main myths of this is about how the starving spirits are really starving and they want to eat these cakes or whatever they are, but their necks are so thin that they can't actually eat it. It won't go down their neck. I mean, in reality, you could probably just chew something, but in this realm, I think that's not really factored in. So, but yeah, I think it's all basically based on his little neck, because all the rest of the islands, most of them don't have such recognizable like small neck features, but they're just kind of given small necks in honor of Unamak. Yeah. So this is just the face. So it's like they switched the size of the eye socket and the mouth. So they have the mouth wide open, but really it's the eye socket that's wide open. But they don't switch the shapes. They keep the mouth as having the little tongue sticking out on the bottom and everything like that. But yeah, so this is the type of information they can just convey, to initiates. Be like, oh yeah, by the way, the size of the mouth and eye are swapped. So there you go. So yeah, the hair, it's shown sticking out. Like there's a bunch of lines, but it tends to be where they put the red is where the land really is. So the one there seems to be here. This is like red hair sticking out, and then the 2 is up here. That seems to be this part where there's these 2 branches, like a big and smaller branch of hair. So that's like this, and then this, and then this is somehow the forehead shape, like this bumpy shape, I think is actually up here or somewhere here. This is like that indent kind of, and this is like his brow ridge, eyebrow. Or maybe the eyebrow's up here, and then this is his nose, this is his mouth, tongue, bottom lip, food, and his Adam's apple. The thin part of his neck is here, of course, but his Adam's apple that's above that is probably this right there. And yeah, so as I say, the Aleutian Islands form a line from Alaska to Siberia, starting with this island and then going almost all the way to the Siberian coast. This is just a more 3D image of the face area. And this is like his food, but I just tweaked the color to match. And it's like a flaming cake. So this is from the Aztec map. So this skull could be topography in here, like it could even be that all these houses are built on some elevated topography, and that this is like the bottom jaw of the skull. But it's pretty hard to tell. There is something up, or where is it? Oh yeah, right here, there's topography that looks a lot like an eye. So that could relate to that, or maybe this could be an eye, or this could be something else. I'm really not sure. Like I was thinking there's some chance that somehow these 2 poles represent the 2 big mountain ranges that surround the valley, but that would be very esoteric. So yeah, this seems to be another element in the map, that it's showing this part of Lake Texcoco that is deeper and has these shapes. It has like the one that points out here, there, the one that points almost straight up, this one, and then these 2 that kind of cluster together out this way, being this and either this or this. Yeah. And then, yeah, it's just another image where I wrote that the size of eye and mouth are swapped. Here is the, the eagle of Mexico again. So yeah, I suspect that the Catholic Church, they know the same stuff I know, the stuff they don't, stuff regular people don't even believe is true, like these maps. The actual like Vatican librarians probably know about it, and so it seems that they're protecting this for some reason. I mean, they destroyed most of the Aztec stuff, but they're at least protecting this most holy site, because otherwise, like this is the Garden of Records or something, Jardin de Recuerdo. So that's, this whole thing is a garden and funerary complex with the yellow hill in the middle with the Jesus statue on top of it. So, because otherwise, guaranteed, if the church or somebody didn't do this, this whole area would probably just look the same as this. In fact, maybe this whole area, like even the mountains and everything, would just be covered with this. So it could be that the Catholics, even though they destroy so much paganism, that sometimes they actually preserve it. And it could be that Christianity was originally intended to kind of be like Buddhism, where it's not against paganism, it's just a way to organize all the pagan cosmology and everything. So yeah, this is just another image of that. I'm not exactly sure how far the lower beak goes, if it includes this or just goes to there or what. And then, of course, this one has a different seeming shape from there, although it's hard to know entirely if it's just optical illusion. It could be that some of the contours are confused because of the developments, but could also just be like a kind of wonky shape. Yeah, one of the Japanese Buddhists, they call the Lord of Hell Emma or Enma. You can say it either way. So they must have freaked out when they seen this. They're like, oh my god, it's Gwyneth Paltrow, I knew it. This is some good weed, tequila sunrise from up north. So this is like the eye of the eagle, Jardins de los Recuerdos. I think that means the Garden of the Records. So it's a funerary complex, it either has graves or tombs or something. And yeah, if this wasn't there, this whole place would just probably be just buildings and stuff. So this is the little mound that has the, that's the eye. And I guess the really yellow part is at the top with the Jesus statue. And this is from directly above. Yeah. So it still probably follows a lot of the original topographical contours. So this is the pupil of the eye, Monumento Cristo Grande. And it seems like it might be on some darker earth, so there was already a pupil there, but they just stuck Jesus right in the middle of this bird's eye. Monumento Cristo Grande, memorial in Tlalnepantla de Paz, Mexico, but it's basically Mexico City, right next to Mexico City or whatever. So I think it's like the Statue of Liberty where you can like go up in it. Maybe that's where they keep the secret codex. This is from further away. So it's pretty high up. It's not quite as high as the surrounding like beak and whatever, but so yeah, here I think you can walk up and then walk through there, I guess. I don't know. Not sure if they really let everybody do that or not, but it looks kind of like it's made for that. And yeah. So yeah, this, I've long suspected that the Catholic Church does understand paganism, and that when they burned all the codices, all the books in America, that they actually might have stolen a bunch of them and pretended to burn them, and then just used them to decipher them and stuff in the Vatican vault or library or something. So yeah, this seems to confirm that. It seems to confirm that the Catholic Church or you could say whoever did this, but obviously it's Mexico City. They're obviously Catholics, so if it Catholics are very hierarchical, very top down, so it would be a bit surprising if this was just done by Catholics without any knowledge of higher up Catholics. And Catholics are known for syncretizing like their religion with other religions, but it's mostly just known that they'll just have some similar holidays and they'll merge them together. But it could go much further than that. It could be that they understand all the pagan symbolism and that they can translate it to the symbolism of Christianity, where the gods become angels and whatnot. But they're all just like constellations and planets and islands and rivers and whatnot. All right. Well, just see if there's anything else to go over from before, because I keep finding new like aspects of things. Let's see. Thought I had another photo of that guy. See, there's another image of him. I guess that's the main stuff, the main new stuff that I have here. All right, well, thank you much and take care. Signing off.